think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight, or wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night, under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. We're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back up. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening, watchmen and watchwomen. Another day. Wow. So, I guess I could give some updates around here. Just the typical still unpacking. Flew the drones for a little bit today. There was a big update that came out for the Mavic Air 2, and as well as an update for the Mavic Mini 1. And so I wanted to get those taken care of. I always try to be right on top of that stuff, and this added a really nice feature as far as being able to help track the drone's location from your location. So some added features that were really nice. So I just flew one battery. I didn't even fly the whole battery. I think the app. I just was uploading data to Air Data, and it said I flew down to 51% battery, as I recall. So didn't even fly a whole battery, but I think I had what did it say? 19 minutes and some odd seconds, I think, flight time, unless I'm mistaken. But anyway, so that was with the Air 2. And then I think I had roughly about 10 minutes of flight time with the Mavic Mini. Just wanted to get them up, get the propellers wet, so to speak. Get them up in the air, and I didn't take pictures today. I did shoot video with both birds, just because I haven't shot video in like forever. So I figured I'd give it a try. I shot in decent. I wanted to be able to play around a little bit with Adobe Premiere. So howdy, Brandy. Man, I'll tell you, it's but the unpacking thing is moving along. Now we are at the stage, I believe, to where I can actually make productive piles. And there aren't that many piles left to make. We're down to like maybe 3 different separate piles, and 2 of those piles go out. You know what I mean? They get set up. So it is what it is, you know. I've been saving that for last because I knew, you know, like our work stuff, I knew that it was going to have to get put up and be out. So therefore I have just kept scooting it from one place to another place, back, and then back to another place, and then over there, you know, as we've been working through the other stuff. And so now I'm to the point to where tomorrow, or maybe even after the show, I'm going to start working on that and getting that stuff set up. So it's coming together. It's coming together. It takes time. You know, although it is a house, our square footage is not a whole lot more than the 3-room apartment we were in. So it's not a big house. It's a little bitty house. And so it's just a matter of figuring out how to set everything up to have the best space. So, man. But other than that, been a pretty uneventful day. I've been keeping an eye real close on several different news stories going on. Of course, the Nashville situation. Been keeping a very close eye on that. Still not necessarily buying it. Man, there is a lot of inconsistency there, and a lot of not making sense. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to continue, though, to allow more data to be released to the public, whether that be true, false, or in between. I figure we'll discern that at the time. But still a lot of information that will come out on that. As you could see with the image today that I used for a thumbnail, that's in reference to an article about Iran and their response to us and Israel having subs in the area. And so that is definitely ratcheting up a little bit. And when I say that, they basically drew their line in the sand, right? And so now it's a wait and see as to whether or not Israel or the United States crosses that line in the sand. I have a feeling they will. I have a feeling they will before the 6th. Man, if we make it to the 21st without being in war, I'll be shocked. I will be shocked. I think we're going to be in war. In other news, as you know, we talked about last night, that Trump did sign the stimulus package. However, and I don't know where it is at the very latest right now. However, the House did vote and I believe pass a $2,000 stimulus checks. So I know Bernie Sanders had came out, I believe this was yesterday or the day before, and he was saying, Trump pass the stimulus. We will fix this as far as the payments to the people, and so I guess they did. I guess they kept their word, and I'm all for this. And again, I'm not even going to attempt to get it. I have no interest in even attempting to get it. But that's me. There's a whole lot of Americans that are hurting very severely. And while I'm not big on government handouts, man, something has to give to help these people. Now, I don't understand why we're going about it this way, but it is what it is. There are other ways that we could have gone about this, okay, that would have actually really minimized the harm done by this whole COVID situation. And why they didn't go those routes, I have no idea. They could have simply said, okay, here's the deal. While we're going through all of this, one thing the American people will not have to worry about is rent or mortgage. Okay? And then have the landlords or, the mortgage companies, whatever, right? They fill out their paperwork to give to the government, right? That lets the government know how much they are going to be out, essentially, because the mortgage payments or rents aren't paid. And then the government cuts a check to the mortgage lender or the landlord or whatever to take care of that. You see, there's a lot less landlords and mortgage lenders out there than there are individuals. And so you just really made a tough job easier by going directly to the root of the issue, right? And the root of the issue, in this one particular instance, I'm just talking about shelter, is going to be your mortgage lenders and your landlords. Okay? So there was a way to do this, and I'm not the smartest person on the planet. But there were ways to do this, much different than what they did. But see, if you go about it that route, if you go about it in a manner in which it's direct like that, well, then you can't throw in a bunch of pork and crap. Right? And so that's why they don't want to do something intelligent, because they want to be able to hand their buddies and themselves a nice fat check as well. So, and obviously we're seeing a lot of that in the stimulus package. In fact, that's what most of the stimulus package is. Now, whether or not the total bill of the stimulus package is going to raise, if this indeed goes completely through for the $2,000 stimulus payments, whether the total cost of the bill will raise, I don't know. But I suspect that that's what's going to happen, because if you think they're going to give up gender studies in Pakistan, you've got another thing coming. So we'll see where that goes. We'll see where that goes. It's that ridiculous. It is that ridiculous. I forget how much was slated for that. That was insanity. Hey, here's an idea. Why don't we take that money, and instead of sending it for gender studies in Pakistan, how about we send it for mental health in the United States? I'm for that. I'm for that. And then maybe we can get down to the bottom of all this insanity to begin with. I'm for that. Certainly for that. I'm telling you. So anyway, that's going on in the news. various other articles. I would tell you, as I've always been telling you, to continue to get ready, because I really do not see these situations getting better. I don't. For one, like I said, I firmly believe that before inauguration, we will be in war. I am pretty damn sure of that. And right there, things can change in the blink of an eye, because this isn't going to be a war like we've fought here recently. You know, when I say here recently, geez, going back to 2001, right? It's not going to be anything near that. It's going to be totally different. Now, it may start over there in the Middle East, but it's not going to stay over there in the Middle East. Let me tell you why. Number one, other countries, other nations are going to get involved. That should be a given. But here's the other little factoid. Iran will undoubtedly use guerrilla warfare. Now, you might be thinking, so what? They did in Vietnam too. But in Vietnam, they weren't sending people over here to commit that guerrilla warfare. I guarantee you that if we go to war with Iran, there will be guerrilla warfare in our streets. I guarantee you. I'm telling you, the future, the near future of this country is bleak. Because we are backed into a few different corners here. And Iran is one of those corners, believe it or not. It's, you know, not just Iran in and of itself, but what happens when we try to do something about Iran. At this point, Iran doesn't seem very interested in any damn talks. Can't say as if I blame them. You know, I get this whole sovereign nation thing, because as individuals, we're supposed to be sovereign, right? So I get it, and I can respect another sovereignty. Even if I've been, you know, told all my life that I'm supposed to hate them. That shit never worked on me, and it never will. I'll hate who my Father Yah tells me to hate. And only who he tells me to hate. I do see things happening. I don't think that I really think that what happened in Nashville, man, okay, so it's either a nut job. That's possible. Okay, it could be. It could simply be a nut job. Plain and simple. Right? Or false flag. Now, how do we know the difference? Well, let's see what they do about it. Right? If there's all kinds of new sweeping laws and this and that and the other thing, well, it's a false flag. But if it just carries on, investigation, blah, 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 and that's the last of it, nut job. So, discernment. It's not real hard. Sometimes it just takes time. You got to let the information process. You have to let things happen. Patience is key. I thank the Father for teaching me that. Trying to think if there was anything else that really stuck out. I was paying attention today to the news. Again, I was keeping my eyes and ears out. Oh, the NDAA was over. The veto was overridden by the House, so that's news. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything else. And the biggest message that I have for folks is continue to get ready. Any way you can. Any way you can. No matter how big, no matter how small. I would love to have a freaking huge Harvest Right freeze dryer. Right? But it ain't in my pocketbook. So it ain't going to happen. So what do I have to do? Well, I have to go to the cheap route. Have to pick up extra things of oatmeal and pancake mix and pasta and rice and, just a little bit here and a little bit there and just keep adding to. If you haven't done it, I recommend you start doing it immediately. It's extremely important. Extremely important. Because I really do think hard times are right around the corner. And I think multiple reasons. I don't think it's any one thing. I think it's one thing and a half dozen of another. It's really, there's a lot of crazy stuff. And as the craziness unfolds, it's going to rapidly accelerate. It really truly is. If we wind up seeing, crazy madness on a normal basis in our streets, it's just going to continue to ramp and continue to ramp. And how do you put that genie back in the bottle? It will get worse before it gets better, and that's something that we really need to just accept. My intent is to encourage people to get ready, at least on a level that they can avoid as much of it as possible. Because that's going to be key. All right? And then if you can find like-minded individuals that also prepared to be able to avoid it as much as possible, then you can work together. You can watch each other's back. Now you are building a position of strength. That is absolutely key. That is absolutely key. But it's also key, you keep all this on the down low. Because just as much as you're building a team of people to work together to be able to avoid and defend, if need be, the more people you let know, the more pins some cat can put on a map. Make sure to check your ego. Because that's one thing with big groups. They often think, oh, let me tell you what. Big groups can be whittled down. Patience. It's imperative that people get prepared. It's imperative that you build networks. It's imperative that if you live in a place that absolutely cannot be secure, that you get the hell out. If you live in a major metropolitan city or something like that, get the hell out. Serious. I know. It's not easy. I can't just... You can figure out something. You can figure out something. It's important stuff. Because again, when this card house falls, it's going to do so rapidly and violently that if you're caught in a big city, You will be damn lucky to make it out alive. And if you do, you probably won't have a damn thing that you started out with. Now, how would you like to start off your journey like that? So be very careful of the big cities. And if it's too late or whatever reason, you just can't, get the hell out of there in time. Have a place to go. And most importantly, get the hell out in time. Do not wait too long. Because I see a lot of people making that mistake. I just really see this stuff unfolding quickly. And although I know it's a real screwed up situation, and I'm not speaking in any way towards it, but if we can make it to January 22nd without something stupid major going on, that'd be a very, very big sigh of relief for myself. A lot of talk about the 6th. Of course, there's rallies being spun up for the 6th in Washington. Stop the steal rallies. What's going to happen there, we don't know. We have no idea, right? We just don't know. So you be ready. That's why it's important that you are ready, so that it doesn't so much matter what they are doing. I'm going to continue to keep my eyes open wide on as much as I can, because I do see this slipping away quick. I really do. And just as I'm always telling you to prep, keep your life preps too. Don't quit life. Because if this all blows over, or at least for the time being, you don't want to be in a worse position because you were so focused on prepping. You got to find that balance. Balance is key. So anyway, I don't know of anything more to add. I'm just kind of rambling as it is. Hey, it's a normal show, right? Guess I could run through the normal stuff and do some headlines. Got a few of those. Not quite as bad as it had been, but biggies. All right. Real quick. Amazon affiliate, we are up to $40.25. Thank you very much. For those that don't know, we're an Amazon affiliate. There's a link in the description of the videos as well as at thewatchmannews.com right there. Click that link, it just takes you to Amazon. But when you use our special link and you make purchases, those items don't cost you anything more, but it gives us a commission. It throws us a little bit for that sale. All those little bits add up at the end of the month, as you see right there, and it helps out. We're actually... the money that's coming in for this month, we actually have to replace a heater, one of our heaters, our oil radiator heaters. So that's where it's going. You know, we got to add a little bit to it, but that's where it's going. It's going towards that. So not necessarily news show related, other than the fact that it's the particular heater that's sitting here by the news desk. So maybe we can associate it that way, right? Hey, we like to be warm, and we like to do so as efficiently as possible. So we've got one that's leaking. So it's actually setting in a baking pan right now, so that that's what catches the oil that's leaking from it. So not a big deal. It's old, it's rusty, and it's got a little bitty pinhole in it. So just going to replace it. No big deal. But anyway, that's where it's going this month. You want to know. We also have a Teespring store. The best way to find what we have is go to watchmannews.com. Scroll down on the homepage. We got 4 different designs currently. There's more than just t-shirts. There's coffee mugs, tote bags, all kinds of stuff. So if you see a design you like, I like the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot Actual the best, I think. And click on that picture. It'll take you to Teespring where they have all the other products, and you can make your choice there. So we also have a PayPal donate link. That's in the description of the videos, as well as at the watchmannews.com right there. That just takes you to our PayPal donate link. You don't have to have a PayPal account to donate. You can do so with a debit or a credit card as a guest. But I always let people know it says Transforming Disabilities up top, but it also says Purpose, the Watchman News donation. That way you know you're in the right place. All right. And we'll run through this real quick. COVID fatal cases last 24, they're saying at this time 1,529. As we've said every day, that number will go up and come back down, and who knows where to be when it settles down into the chart, in which yesterday it says new cases was you get the right one there, 143,519. And fatal cases yesterday, they are saying 1,330. So, our little town, our total confirmed is 1,474 as of today. I still haven't been writing it down, so I have no idea as far as a daily. And I don't think they've added it, like where you can go and see the daily numbers. You would think, right? But no, they don't. It's Illinois. What do you expect? All right. Another sip of tea. We'll do some headlines. I'll get the hell out of here and maybe work on putting some more stuff away. Fun. All right. Maybe I'll have a vape. Alrighty. Let's see. Moment of Nashville blast captured in HD by police surveillance camera. And this was from last night. This came out. And it is a much better quality video than what was released before. I actually... Wait a minute. Let me scoot a couple screens over here. Let me pop it in here. Probably be a little better. But yeah, here's the HD footage of that blast. You can see much better what transpired there as far as the explosion and the damage and stuff like that. Very interesting. There is one part of it that bothers me though. Okay? Let me back it up here. Okay? There's one part of it that just kind of bothers me. Let me play it. Okay. Now, I could be wrong, but I've done a little bit of video editing. And you see where this van, or here, can you see me? Yeah, you can. Not van, I'm sorry, this RV. This RV is parked back here, okay? Make note of that. The RV is here. So, we're going to move forward a little bit. Boom! It explodes, right? Looky there. Look at this. Look at this. Okay? See that? That. Interesting, isn't it? I think so. And then I want you to pay attention to something. Because the explosion, right, that would have started out here, suddenly moved to here. Look. As the explosion dwindles back down, looky, it's here. Not here. The explosion's here. And you see that? Man, one of the many software programs I like to play in is one called Adobe After Effects. And in Adobe After Effects, you can set shit on fire. Literally, anything. Real easily. And part of what it uses to do so is called particles. I don't know a whole lot about the program. In fact, most of the time when I use it, I use templates and all that. I'm not a guru at it. But particles, much like you see here, and much like you see here, particles. Adobe After Effects. Huh. Interesting. Just wanted to share my thoughts on the HD video. Continuing on, now to this morning. Russian fishing trawler with 19 crew on board sinks in freezing Barents Sea, 2 rescued but 17 missing and feared dead in the icy waters. Let's see. He's going for a jog, shoot his legs. Brits imagine what Tier 5 could look like amid rumors of even tougher lockdown. Bojo with a rifle there. Theft suspected after bulky historic 17th century cracked bell disappears without a trace from Stockholm church. Yeah, that probably took a couple guys. South Korea detects first case of highly contagious UK COVID strain and vows to begin vaccinations from February. China's biggest oil and natural gas basin reaches record output. Alibaba stock slides after China cracks down on monopolies. Low on drugs, beds, and staff, California already blew it. ICU nurse tells RT as state braces for post-Christmas COVID-19 flood. We'll see. I'm totally not. Man, Thanksgiving I would have thought would have really had a much more, large impact than what it was indicated. So we'll see, but I'm really starting to question a lot. The U.S. must stop using Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Tibet to meddle in China's domestic affairs, says Beijing. The increased NATO activity near Russian borders may one day lead to a serious incident, top Moscow defense official says. The UK's approval of Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine could help accelerate lifting of COVID restrictions, says Senior Minister Gove. Let's see. I was just looking over in chat. Yeah, something's up, and like I said earlier, I'm leaning towards really leaning towards false flag. And so, absolutely, a do would make sense. A do would absolutely make sense. Plus, I've seen the Dabu video, as well as I'm sure you have. Man, something came down. Something undoubtedly came down before that explosion. No doubt about it. Something came down. UK's, oh, I read that one. Fighting post-lockdown weight gain, question mark. UK plans unhealthy food and drink restrictions to beat obesity as part of battle against COVID. So now the UK is going to restrict food and drink to fight obesity. And if you believe that, I've got another thing coming. Because what they are doing is taking individuality away. I'll let you think about that. Foreign inflow sent Indian stocks to new highs as investors shift to emerging markets. Gold hits 1 week peak as dollar tumbles after Trump signs stimulus. Extremely rare white kiwi that inspired books and toys dies in New Zealand after surgery and prompting widespread mourning. Killer drones for German army, question mark. Defense minister pushes for combat UAVs, splits coalition, and MPs call for broader public debate. EU member states endorse Brexit trade deal with the UK, says a spokesman. A Swedish government asks for powers to close down shops and restaurants and fine people for breaking COVID-19 rules. Britain looks to clinch free trade agreement with Turkey as independence from EU nears. A prominent Saudi women's rights activist sentenced to nearly 6 years, local media reports. Let's see. Russia will intervene on Yerevan's side if Azerbaijani troops move across the border, Armenian PM Pashinyan insists. Former Miss Ekaterinburg, I believe it is, fights back New York mugger with one simple tactic. And hey, this would probably work. There's a couple of languages this would work. What did she do? She cussed at him in Russian. Yeah, she sweared at him in Russian. German would probably work too, because I'll tell you what, somebody could tell you something very beautiful and nice in German, and you think they're going to kill you. So, you know, it is what it is, you know. But, yeah, hey, whatever works. And by the way, there is a reason for this, okay? Humans inherently fear what they do not understand, what they do not know. And because the attacker, the mugger, did not know what it was that she was saying, he booked. Because what might she have been saying? I'm about to blow your nads off? How you know? How do you know? And if you think you're the aggressor and you approach somebody thinking you're the aggressor and that person turns aggressor on you and starts speaking something you don't know, gonna throw your mind for a spin. And unless you actually have a mental issue to where that won't recognize, because that is a possibility. But most people that you know have that cognitive ability to think you know, there are mental conditions to where somebody wouldn't have that cognitive ability and they would just continue on and do the mugging, okay? But for most of us, it would sit you back for a second, and that's why this worked. And it's I don't know, it's kind of an interesting tactic. It is a truly interesting tactic. But I'll tell you one thing. What really screws somebody up is when they think they're the aggressor and they find out they're not. That right there alone can win battles. Russia's Far East, and that's just it. The old saying, you know, walk softly and carry a big stick. You damn right. You damn right. You let people think you're the biggest pussy there is. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. But you show them. You show them what being an animal is about. Guaranteed not to lose. Because they don't expect it. They don't expect it. You want people to underestimate you. It's not about being the big badass. Who cares what people think about you? It's about the element of surprise. Isn't it about winning? Well, the most important thing with winning is the element of surprise. So if somebody's underestimated you, and then find out the hard way, in this instance, in a very violent, aggressive manner, dude, it throws somebody mentally for a loop. This stuff is important because this stuff continues to fall apart. You got somebody aggressing you. If you got somebody closing in on your location and trying to aggress you, you damn well better get the upper hand of that situation. And if you didn't know already, the mental aspect of war is the largest aspect of war. Got to make sure you got the cards to play, but most importantly, you have to know when to play them. A little bit of work goes into setting a secure location, maintaining it. There are a lot of folks that play when it comes to prepping. A lot of folks that play. Let's see. Sorry, got off on a little direction. I want people to be prepared, man, and this mental part of it. That's why I did the videos on my prepper priority list, because, man, the mental part of it is huge, and I really wanted to emphasize that. And that's just one little nugget of the mental part of it. One little bitty tiny nugget. Anyway, Russia's Far East attracts over $17 billion in foreign investment. The government was trying to kill him anyway. Epstein's fellow inmates claim he was suicidal due to abuse and threats, says a report. Excuse me, daughter. Hey, yeah, it's probably a good idea that something spooked you. Knock it off. All right. I didn't... Blue, quit. She's miffed about something. She's scruffing up the carpet. Okay, that's enough. We know you're mad. Quit. Lay down. Viruses do not take a break during holidays, Japan's PM says, amid third wave of COVID infections. Blue, knock it off. America has given up on arms control and withdrawn from treaties to try to achieve global supremacy, says the Russian Defense Ministry. China, and that's an important headline to pay attention to, because, you know, if that's actually how they feel, that's what matters, is it not? Chinese expats coming home to get domestic COVID vaccine, says the media. Iran tells U.S. and Israel not to cross red lines in the Gulf after reports of submarine deployments. And that was what I was telling you about during the monologue. Sacrificing freedom for the environment, ? German MP suggests restrictions similar to COVID-19 lockdowns to fight climate change. European travel insurers warn jab will be required to book trips if EU adopts COVID-19 vaccine mandate. 8 German care home employees jabbed with 5 times Pfizer vaccine dose, 4 hospitalized with COVID-like symptoms. I mean, that's insanity. Let's see. After naming bombing suspect, focus turns to motive. Don't talk about European sovereignty. Berlin won't do U.S. bidding, and change stance on Nord Stream 2 with Biden in charge, the foreign minister says. And then you're going to see another update, like real quick. Suspect detained in Shanghai poisoning of Netflix producer and Game of Thrones games developer, Yuzu billionaire Lin Ke, if I said his name correctly. And right here's the update. Construction of German stretch of Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline finished, the company says. So, I mean, it like boom, boom when it came out today in the headlines. Like, well, that's kind of interesting. Jeffrey Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell denied $28.5 million bail bond. So, obviously, even for $28 million, you can't afford to commit suicide. Curfew and ban on alcohol sales. South Africa imposes new restrictions amid COVID-19 infection surge. While giving Americans $600, Congress sets aside $600 million to fight Russia and China. House passes $2,000 per American COVID-19 relief bill requested by Trump. House overrides Trump's veto of defense spending bill that blocked Afghanistan withdrawal. Nearly 500 doses of Moderna's vaccine thrown out after improper storage at Wisconsin Health Clinic. LBC radio host goes on lockdown kills rant live on air, argues public is being scared into backing another lockdown. Biden laments hollowed out U.S. bureaucracy and needs to rebuild national security after Trump. Let's see. Officer fired in fatal shooting of black man, the one in Ohio. The one that the gentleman, I had said that I didn't really look into it too much, but from what the video, what I saw, it simply showed a man walking towards the officer with a phone in his hand, literally with the screen lit up, pointed towards the officer. Now, I could not see I couldn't see the other hand. I couldn't see the man's other hand. I do believe it's like behind him or something. And that's just speaking in honesty, because that's what we're about. I didn't see the man's other hand, and yeah, I would be concerned as an officer, but man, I wouldn't have. I'm sorry, but I would not be so quick to pull a trigger. If I worked in law enforcement, I guarantee you I would not be so quick to pull a trigger. I guarantee you. Because, man, you have time. Stop. We got to stop this insanity of, oh my God, split second. Yeah, some situations are a split second. But a lot of these situations aren't. A lot of these situations, you've got plenty of time to see what the hell is in their hand as they bring it around. And if it's not a weapon, don't fire. Not open fire. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You can't tell me 30 years ago they did this crap. Not normally. Not even close. There is certainly a problem in training. Certainly. I think there's a lot of problems with it all, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. There's certainly a lot of stuff going on in the world, especially here in the United States, and we'll just see what happens. I do have one more headline here looking at me. It says, interviews with over 400 officials and 5,000 pages of documents. Pentagon pushes back against Biden's claim it obstructs transition. So, there's that. So anyway, that is the headlines. I'm going to get out of here because I'm going to get something done. So, hope everybody has a good night. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow, and I hope to see you then. As always, God bless you, We love you, and be one with your spirit.